Hi, I'm Lamisha from The Perfect Space, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about what items to buy when you just started a party rental company. And really, these two items are really all you need, and that is tables and chairs. Now, with tables and chairs, honestly, you can have a whole party rental company with only tables and chairs and still make a lot of money because they're the essentials. That's really all that you need. Um, People almost always need tables and chairs before they need the other items. Um, and we've been in business before the pandemic. But honestly, tables and chairs is what saved us during the pandemic because people weren't having those big lavish events, they couldn't. So they were having small gatherings in their backyard with their family and close friends. And we were able to still provide them with the tables and chairs. Um, Same thing with, other people who were doing like the COVID testing and stuff like that. They still needed tables, they needed chairs. So those are essential. All of this other stuff, like, is nice. It's nice, but really, with starting off, just focus on tables and chairs. I would say a good number um, of chairs would be 50. Try to get 50 chairs. And with tables, depending on what size you get, I would say 5 or 6. And so if you're going to get the 6 foot tables, 6 foot tables can seat up to 8. You have 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, and one on each end. And with those, you would get like 6. And then if you're going to get the 8 foot tables, which can seat up to 10, get like 5, you know. And the good thing about tables is that they don't necessarily need to be uniform. They don't necessarily need to match because a lot of time people are covering them up. So if you find used tables on places like Marketplace or OfferUp or 5 Miles and all of those other companies, go for it. If you can get some used for cheap, go for it. I know if you're going to go to like, I think like Walmart and get theirs for a 6 foot table, I believe is about almost $50 for one table. Um, for the 6 foot tables, about $50, and I believe their 8 foot tables now are about 80, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely went up since we started back in 2019. But that's the good thing about tables. They don't have to look alike as long as they're just the same size. You want to make sure they're the same size. If someone is telling you they want 6 foot tables, you want to make sure you give them 6 foot tables and not, you know, 5 and 1 8 foot. Please give them what they want. So make sure you have enough of that one size. But other than that, again, if you have some used tables that have a few scratches or something like that, it's not really a big deal. Um, and really, that goes along with chairs too. If you get some chairs and they have some scratches and um, there's some wear, some noticeable wear on it, that's fine too, as long as they aren't like extremely dirty. If they're supposed to be white chairs and they look beige, that may be an issue. Maybe you don't want to buy those used. But the thing with chairs, they do have to be uniform. When people want 50 chairs, they want 50 of the same chairs because sometimes, depending on the event, if it's a baby shower or something like that, and they want to use chair covers, then it wouldn't matter. But You want to always assume that people want your chairs and they're not going to cover them. So you want to make sure that you have all of the same chair. Um, Even if they're from different companies, but they look alike, but maybe on the back, you know, their name, their brand is on there and it's a different brand on the other one. That doesn't matter as long as the chair looks the same. So with us, we started off with our chairs with black, yes, our black folding chairs. Now, the good thing about the chairs that we started off with, they were on clearance. Walmart, I guess, was discontinuing them, and they were on clearance for $3. Honey, we went to about 12, maybe 13 different Walmarts trying to snatch up all of them. And while that was great that we were able to get so many for so little, um, the downside to that is now they're discontinued. So sometimes people break them and we can't replace them, or just wanting to add to your inventory anyway, and we can't. So we have to rent out what we have. So that's a downside with that. That's why I would suggest getting a chair like the white folding chairs, like those regular white folding chairs that you see everywhere on like Amazon, and I believe they have them at I think like HomeDepot.com and Lowe's.com. They're everywhere. Now they're a little bit more expensive. We had them at first, and I just honestly, I don't know. I think I just love my black chairs, and a lot of people liked our black chairs too because they thought that they were different. Um, but again, with those white chairs, they're everywhere. So if one breaks, you can easily replace it. Right now, I think they're going 10 for maybe almost $200, which I know is a lot. It is. That's a lot of money, especially because you need so many. You like I said, you want to have at least 50 chairs. But again, if one breaks, you can replace it because they are everywhere. And if you find some of those on Marketplace or companies like that, go for it. Go for it. Clean it up really good and add it to your inventory. That's fine. It's just, again, I mean, even if you got all 50 from just finding them on Marketplace and those type of platforms, go for it. Just, again, make sure you're getting a chair that you can still buy, anywhere if you needed it. If you need to add to your inventory, if one breaks, okay? So once you get your tables and your chairs, and you started making good money with those and you want to invest in more inventory, um, I would suggest that you figure out what niche you kind of want to have with your party rental business. And what I mean by that is sometimes you'll see party rental companies who only sell marquee letters. Um, or, I'm sorry, only rent marquee letters. Or you'll see some that they only rent tents, tables, and chairs. You'll see some that they only rent things like bounce houses and the other inflatables like the water slides and stuff like that. Which, quick little side note with that, those things are extremely heavy. Some people don't really realize how heavy those are. Um, so if you're interested in getting into that, make sure that you have really, really reliable people that's working with you. Because if you're supposed to go and deliver one of those things and one of your people who was supposed to help you could no longer, help that day, something happened, and you have to do that by yourself, I don't know how you're gonna make it. Even with like a dolly, those things are really, really heavy. On top of that, there's like extra insurance you need to have for those. So um, just research that, especially with your city and state. Again, we're out here in Carrollton, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas, and it's just a lot with that. And we thought about going into that. We bought one, and then I just sold it. I think I used it for like a personal event for my son's birthday party, and then I just sold it because it was a lot to, do with trying to rent that out. But they do make a lot of money. So um, if you don't mind that, if you have a good team, go for it. Other things, other little niches that, let me see, that I've seen. It's like luxury rentals, um, which is it's really nice too, you know, very lucrative, but the items are going to be extremely expensive. So just think about that. And then once you figure out what it is, like what niche you want to be in, then from there, figure out what it is you want to rent and the inventory that you want to have and go from there. So I really hope that this was helpful. If you guys have an item that you feel like is, just making you a lot of money right now, just with this one item, go ahead and be sure to leave a comment. And, or if you have any, other, um, just things that you feel are essential with first starting off. I know some people think linen is essential, and I would say no. When you're first starting off, do not start off with linen. It can be a lot because you have to think about cleaning them. And with that, if you're going to send it to the dry cleaners, for one tablecloth, you could be paying $18. Okay. If you're thinking about cleaning them and pressing them yourself, you have to think about those hard stains that are just so difficult to try to get out. So even if you do all of the little tricks and tips that people tell you how to get out these stains and that stain, and you do that and you put it in the washer and you put it in the dryer and you find out that that stain isn't out. And the bad thing with that is you really need to check to make sure that the stain is out before you put it in the dryer, because once you put it in the dryer, it actually sets the stain in some more. But let's say you got out the stain. From there, you then have to either iron it or steam it or press it. And with that, just for one, depending on which one you're doing, that can take 30 minutes to do. So I would say once you get a really good staff and money is coming in, then invest in linen. Um, but again, if you know another item that you really, really feel like people should start off with, please leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.